Hi, it's PeeMonster. I'm an endo-spiritual artist living in and working out of California, and I'd like to thank you for visiting my Patreon. Even just coming to look means a lot, and I'd like to say thank you very much for your interest in seeing what's here and perhaps even becoming a patron. Endo-spiritual is a word I came up with to describe my work. I never quite felt that I fit into the categories of a lot of my peers that I've shown with, pop surrealism or lowbrow. It's not quite where I fit. But my work for me is a very spiritual experience. It's how I cope with being here. It's how I cope with things that I can't change. It's how I communicate or respond to things when I don't have the words for it. So it's a spiritual experience for me, and I'd like for it to be a spiritual experience for those who witness it or see it. If you Google spiritual art, you'll see a lot of vibrant colors and, like otherworldly designs and, very psychedelic depictions. Despite my work being a very spiritual thing for me, I don't think I quite fit into that category. So I thought about it, I feel the spirituality inside, and I'd hope that people feel the spiritual connection inside. So I came up with the word endo-spiritual. Endo meaning inside, like endoskeleton. Endo-spiritual. Spirituality from the inside, rather than what you are seeing with your eyes. So some of the things that we do on my Patreon is, this is where I share my work in progress photos. My creation process I've come to realize is a very personal experience for me, and I found that keeping it private allows me to overcome a lot of the anxieties that I have about completing a piece and, whether or not everything's in the right place, and just, the mind to soul to paper connection. It goes a lot smoother when I'm not sharing those work in progresses publicly before I share the piece publicly. So I made the decision to keep it all Patreon exclusive from here on. So if you're interested in the behind the scenes of my work, or behind the desk rather, $1 gets you in. $1 is the minimum to be able to access just those posts. They come with commentary. It's almost a step-by-step peek at a piece from start to finish with commentary. Some of my deepest, darkest, delightful thoughts as I'm creating a piece are what you will get in my Patreon. So on top of access to behind the desk posts and commentary on my work as I'm completing it, $1 will also enter you into the monthly title. Now the title is a fun little thing that we can do as a community, where basically we come together and figure out a name for a little drawing each month. And whoever's name is chosen gets the original drawing each month. So the amount of name ideas that you get corresponds to your pledge amount. So if you pledge $1 to $19, it will be 1 name idea. If you're in the 20s, 2 name ideas. If you're in the 30s, 3 name ideas. If you're in the 40s, 4 name ideas. If you're $100, 10 name ideas. So it does increase your chances just because you'll have more names in the pool, but ultimately the name will be chosen by my daughter. The names will be compiled into a list, completely anonymous. She won't know who chose what name, and she'll pick whichever name she feels best suits the child in the little artwork. So it's fun. We can come together as a community, have some fun creating a name for this, for a drawing. And at the end, someone walks away with the little original, and everyone who pledges $5 or more will walk away with a print of each monthly drawing. So even if you don't win the original, you still walk away with something each month, and that's pretty cool. On top of the monthly title, I like to send things out at random. As long as your address is up to date in Patreon, you will have access to that. I also have an active discount code for my public store, my public online shop. Anyone who is on my Patreon will have access to this code, and it might change throughout the months, but there will always be a discount code. So if you plan to purchase stuff in the future, even $1 will get you that discount code, and you'll have the code. So there you go. It's a thank you from me for even thinking about my work. That matters. For seeing my work, that matters. Thank you. That means a lot. I'll also be including a list of all of my patrons in my YouTube videos as a thank you, just a little thank you page to make sure that you're being thought of and acknowledged in everything that I do. And yeah, so something major that Patreon will do for me as an artist is it will allow me to fully express myself. I very much enjoy creating large pieces. I like to create entire windows into this world in my head and give people a big view of all the things in that world, And I find that with finances and family life right now, it's a little bit tricky to be able to do those large pieces. Considering financially, I have to bring in a certain amount each month to be able to pay rent. Unfortunately, spending a lot of time on a large piece means there won't be an income that month, most likely, because I will have nothing to sell. So a lot of times I end up doing little portraits, and I love those too. They have their own kind of joy, but it limits me as far as being able to really create those windows that my heart so desires to create. So with Patreon, it gives me a bit more of a form of passive income to me, where I can have the freedom to spend more time on one piece and not have to worry about whether or not I'm bringing in enough to pay rent each month. Does that make sense? It would really open me up and allow me to fully express myself as an artist. And yeah, that's it. I really hope you'll consider joining my Patreon. I think you'll have a lot of fun here, and I'm excited for the titles. I'm excited for the opportunity to come together as a little community and just share this work. And I'm super excited to create more artwork. So thank you for taking the time to check out this video. If you're able to join my Patreon, awesome. I'm very excited to meet you. If you're not able to join, but you still felt something when you saw my artwork, please never hesitate to share. I love shares. It doesn't bother me at all to see my work in other places. So just go wild. Thank you. That is it. Have a great day.